Good morning. So obviously I'm here today at Milnia because I got my booster shot here, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate the work that's being done by the team at Transformative Healthcare and the folks here at DCR to make this facility available for people. And I would just start by saying that the data and the evidence at this point is overwhelming. Your chances of being hospitalized, your chances of worse if you get vaccinated are dramatically less than your chances of being hospitalized or suffering long COVID or a whole bunch of other things associated with COVID if you aren't vaccinated. And here in Massachusetts, we take a lot of pride and satisfaction in the fact that literally 95% plus of the people over the age of 65 in Massachusetts have gotten fully vaccinated. Significant number of folks have been boosted. This is my second booster shot, which I was eligible for. I am 65 years old. That's part of the reason why I did this. But I'm also doing it to send a message that's important. And that message is, if you haven't gotten vaccinated yet, you really should. If you look at the number of people who are in the hospital with COVID, many of the ones, most of the folks who are in the hospital suffering with COVID are unvaccinated. And I think it's critically important for all of us to recognize and understand that there are plenty of places around Massachusetts where you can get vaccinated, and if you are vaccinated, there are plenty of places in Massachusetts where you can get boosted as well. The vaccines work. The boosters are an important part of this initiative, and as I said, there are plenty of places like this one here at Milnia where people can get vaccinated in the Commonwealth. And all you got to do is go on our VaxFinder website or call 311. And with that, I'm happy to open it up for questions.
Hey, Governor, yesterday Dr. Fauci put out there that the pandemic is, sort of gone now. So for people who might think there's mixed messages going on, just reaffirm that this is still a good thing to do.
Well, I think the first thing I would say is that a big part of the reason why the pandemic is nowhere near as severe as it was 18 months ago is because of the presence of vaccines. The fact that so many people in Massachusetts have gotten vaccinated is a big part of why COVID, even for those who get it, is no longer the major concern that it was before vaccines were available. In addition to that, there are now very effective treatments to keep people out of the hospital. Paxlovid, which Massachusetts is actually a national leader in terms of the use of Paxlovid here in the Commonwealth for people who are in who get COVID and maybe in high-risk categories. And I think when you put that together, the vaccines, the treatments, it makes a really big difference with respect to the dangers of COVID generally across the population. But that said, if you're over the age of 65, if you're immunocompromised, if you've got other comorbidities, you should be getting vaccinated and getting boosted. And if you're eligible for a second boost, you should get that too. That's the best way to protect yourself.
Governor, Moderna, big news today, seeking emergency authorization for that vaccine. Can you speak to that? I mean, it's been a long time coming, what it means.
Well, first of all, the FDA has a critically important role to play here, which is they are, for all intents and purposes, the overseer and gatekeeper with respect to the efficacy and safety of vaccines generally. And we will pursue whatever the recommendations are that come out of their expert panels. If there are vaccines that are available and approved by the FDA for populations under 5, we'll certainly do everything we can to make sure that those vaccines are available to people here across the Commonwealth in places like this and others. And we'll probably work with our colleagues in the healthcare community to make sure that there's a strategy to promote that, especially within the pediatric community.
Yeah, if they do greenlight the shot, there are a lot of parents who are hesitant because it's been sort of this long process, and there's also some studies that show most kids have never been infected. So will there be the same kind of push to convince people for this pediatric category as like we're doing right now with boosters?
Look, I think this is always going to be a decision people need to make in consultation with their healthcare provider. Certainly when you're talking about kids under the age of 5, You have moms and dads who will be talking to their pediatricians when they make decisions about stuff like this, and people should make whatever they think is the right decision for them. We are blessed to some extent that the evidence associated with the impact of COVID on kids is it's far less severe than the impact on people who are my age and older. That's a little bit of a blessing. But again, I think this is the sort of thing where if people have questions about it, they should definitely talk to their children's pediatrician about it.
Location sites for the boosters seem to be a little less robust than when we originally got inoculated. Is there a good state source for people around the states that go through to find where they...
Yeah, people can go to VaxFinder, which is at mass.gov, to find a location that works for them. And there are literally hundreds and hundreds of vaccine sites available in Massachusetts, and they stretch from Berkshire County all the way to the Cape.
Did you stick with Pfizer?
I did stick with. I'm a 4-time Pfizer vaccinated person at this point. I haven't gotten COVID. It's worked for me. Why not?
And without getting too personal, did you suffer? I know when I got boosted, I got spectacular side effects.
Spectacular. Interesting choice of terms. Yeah.
Spectacular side effects. Despite some people getting those, it's certainly, I would imagine, be saying well worth it to get boosted.
Yeah, there are in some cases for people side effects, but my wife had side effects. Okay, I don't know if they were spectacular or not, but she had side effects, and they wore off. And the first time I got my second shot, I was pretty out of it for most of the rest of the day. But I think that's a really small price to pay for the benefit that comes with the efficacy and the safety that's attached to these vaccines, which has been proven worldwide to be overwhelmingly effective at keeping people from getting seriously ill or, God forbid, dying of COVID.